Hey guys, it's Ranchin here, bringing you yet another video. It's been a while, and I know some of you were expecting StarCraft Brood War, but I'm here to bring you guys something just a little bit more different. I'm going to bring you guys a League of Legends commentary from my perspective, because League of Legends does not have a replay feature yet. Anyway. But yeah, League of Legends, as some of you might know, is a MOBA game that is a multiplayer online battle arena. The most famous of its kind would be Dota, also known as Defense of the Ancients, the Warcraft 3 custom map. And also, some of you might know Heroes of Newerth, a direct clone, well, not a direct clone, but a sort of a semi-clone of Dota. And another game in that genre would be Demigod, although I have not played that, and it's apparently somewhat different, but still in the same genre. Now, that chick with a bow running around, that would be me, Ranchin Day. You should be able to spot the name. I apologize for any lag in the video, but, you know, it's kind of hard to record stuff when you're playing online, and it just kind of takes a little bit out of you. But just get quickly the basics out of the game. Out there before I look over lineups and stuff. You got 3 lanes. At the end of each lane, you got something called a nexus, which is your objective. Basically, the thing to do is you take down the opposing team's nexus and you win. It's a gigantic building we passed by in the very beginning of the game. You have these 3 lanes, the mid lane, top lane, and bottom lane, which you fight for control of, and you kill enemy minions and try to push your own minions through the wave to kill these gigantic, huge monstrosities called the towers. And when you kill them, your entire team gets some experience, some gold, and kind of pushes the lane further. So there's several, 3 towers to be exact, in each lane, and they protect something called an inhibitor. And if you kill an inhibitor, that lane, your monster, you start spawning a one gigantic super creep. And the whole point of all this, just go through forward into the game and win it. Now, it's kind of hard to explain all this by myself, so I'm just going to try talking about the action at the moment. I'm playing a champion called Ashe. She's one of my favorites. She is a hard carry champion, range DPS hard carry, which means that she's kind of weak early game, but she gets a little bit stronger later in the game as you gain experience with her, as you build her up. So she's very dependent on farming and you getting gold and experience. The opposing person on the other lane is a character called Karthus, played by Vlad, who is a mage. Now, the point of this, what's going on this early in the game, is called the laning phase. And the point of this is basically try to get as much experience as you can. Whenever an opposing creep, that is what we call the little minions that are firing stuff at each other right now, whenever they die, you gain experience. But the point of the laning phase is also to gain gold. You see, whenever you land a killing blow on a minion, which is called and that's called a last hit, whenever you do that, you get gold, not just XP. So the whole point is there, I'm trying to run around and land the last hits on the minions, not always successfully, but trying to get experience alongside gold, because Ashe, the champion I'm playing, is extremely farm dependent, and you really have to get her up right. Again, miss a last hit there. But yeah, I'm constantly being hit on sizable little purple flames. That's something of one of Vlad's main abilities, called Lay Waste, and he just kind of does this little explosions all over the place, which does a little damage in an AoE. The best thing about that skill is that it's extremely low cooldown. But I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the game. Fisky right now in the top lane, playing as a champion called Vladimir, has gone ahead and killed Lance, who's playing as Ezreal. I'm going to go over the team lineups right quick, as I'm in the middle lane and it's nothing too much happening. My team consists of Vladimir, who's in the top lane, played by Fisky. I play Ashe. We have a Warwick, who's played by Stoneby. He's running around the jungle. That's what you have between the lanes, is a bunch of jungle. You see those little skull and crossbones. Those are neutral camps of creeps that you can kill for experience. They will attack you only if you attack them. Some of them can give you very powerful buffs. I will go in those as the game progresses. Just kind of not try to get too much knowledge out there. Just kind of talk about the action as it goes on. Still trying to go here and lane in the middle. Karthus is pressing me back a little bit. I'm being forced to occasionally use my skill there, my W skill, which is called the volley. I'm going to go into that in a second as soon as I finish with my team makeup. But yeah, as I talked about, Warwick is in the jungle. He's probably one of the best, if not the best jungler in the game. He kills creeps really fast because he has natural life-stealing capabilities that can keep him alive, despite the fact that he has no support to farm in the jungle. But that way he can get all the experience that the jungle offers without putting too much risk to themselves. And also, the other team never knows what the jungler is doing because nobody has vision. As you see myself, there's a lot of fog of war. Nobody has vision except for what we generally see. And also, we can have vision of things that we see with some specific items called wards. So on the bottom of our team, we have a Tariq, played by Civi, or Crucifix, and a Dr. Mundo, played by Lihu. Mundo is a sort of a DPS crazy dude champion. We're going to go into all of that in a second. If you want to see all those champions and portraits of them, you can go to the beginning of the video for like 1 second. Every single champion is shown and a picture of them, so you can check that out. In the opposing team, we have an Annie, played by Sort. We have an Ezreal, played by Lance. This Karthus here in the middle, played by Vlad. We also have a Garen, played by Zanzan, and a Nidalee, played by Nova. Now, what's interesting about this all, this is a clan wars. This is actually, every single one in this game is a member of my clan, which is called WPFF, or We Play for Fun. It's not a very serious clan. We're not in it for the competitiveness. We're in it just to try to enjoy ourselves and have as much fun as humanly possible. I'm here in the lane. I'm in the middle lane because I am the so-called team carry. I am the guy who's going to be doing a lot of damage late game, but first I have to farm up early game, stay alive, get as much gold as possible. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, I am level 6 right now, and I'm firing off my ultimate because my teammate Warwick's coming in for a gank. My enemy's going to cleanse out of it. He's going to get a wall up, and that's not going to work out. Oh well, Warwick came in. We tried to go for it. Warwick does not have his ultimate yet, which basically he flashes next to a target and just suppresses him, keeps him in place, and does like a significant amount of damage. Now, what I fired off there was my ultimate, and talking about ultimates and skills and stuff, let's go into Ashe and talk about. I'm talking about that she's a physical DPS carry, but let's go over her skills. Her Q skill, which I have not gotten the skill point in yet, is Frost Shot. What that does, it's a ability that you click on to have on, and then you click off when you don't want it anymore. And whenever you fire a normal attack with Frost Shot on, you fire an arrow that slows the target. At level 1, it slows the target down for 15 seconds. At level 5, which is the max level a skill can be at, aside from the ultimate skill. And at max level, it slows for 35%. It always costs a little bit of mana to fire a shot. I think it's... for some second right now, for a reason, I forget whether it's 6 or 8 mana. But every time you fire off a physical attack with Frost Shot on, you always lose a bit of mana. So it's very mana intensive, and on a champion like Ashe, who's very low on mana, really hard to spam a lot. So you only use it on enemy champions. Right there, I'm using my E skill, which I'll go right after I talk about Volley. That's the huge cone of arrows I've been firing around. Now what that does is it does damage, a specific amount of damage depending on level. Starts at level 1 at 40 base damage, and at level 5 the max level at 80 base damage, and it scales with attack damage. Basically, it gets a bonus with all the attack damage you have. At the moment, I have 74 attack damage. That is Ashe's natural attack damage plus the item that I'm using to start the game off, which is a Doran's sword. Doran's blade, rather. Doran's blade. Somebody else I listen to calls it a Doran's sword, and I'm very embarrassed for him. But anyway, trying to get some last hits here. Sometimes successful, sometimes not. Her third skill is the little bird that I fired off earlier to the north. That's a hawk shot. Now it has a passive and an active. The passive is Plentiful Bounty, and that means whenever I kill a creep that you saw right there, the 2+ gold that popped over Ashe's head, that's the passive. Every time I kill something, I gain 2+ gold. Well, anyway, at level 1, I gain 1+ gold, and at level 5, that skill, I gain 5+ gold. Now the passive is useful, but it used to be Ashe's only skill, but then they added in Hawk Shot, which is a little hawk that I fire off. Now what this does is gives me vision of an area, and the higher the level of the skill is, the larger the area it flies, so it's generally a very nice skill. It helps as a passive, as an active. I just now got just got a level in Frost Shot. I generally don't always level it up right away, simply because I like having at least level 2 of Hawk Shot as much as possible. I don't always fire off the hawk in different locations, just because I feel fairly safe in knowing that the opposite team does not actually have a jungler, so I don't think I'm going to be ganked anytime soon. Just trying to farm up, trying to get some last hits here and there, sometimes failing, sometimes not. But altogether, I'm not feeling in too much danger from this Karthus here. Now, Karthus can regen his own mana very easily. You see this little blue bubble that sometimes appears on him? That's him actually regening a little bit of mana due to one of his skills, one of his abilities or skills or spells or whatever you want to call it. And Ashe's ultimate, that's a skill on the far right. You can see letters there, Q, W, E, and R. There's Karthus' ultimate that he was apparently trying to go around and kill someone. And also our Dr. Mundo, played by Lihu, was just killed by Annie, played by Sort. Unfortunately, because there's no replay feature, I can't actually check that out for you and show exactly what happened. So you can't really see the action, unfortunately, but instead I can just kind of tell you what's going on. So, yeah. Her ultimate is Enchanted Frost Arrow. That basically fires a gigantic arrow that flies all across the map. It's a global spell. It can fire from one end of the map to the other. And it hits a target, does some...
My aim is
Excuse me. Just had to sneeze a bit there. But yeah, it does quite a bit of magic damage. 300, I believe, at level 1 and 600 at max level. And it stuns the target the further that it travels. So if you hit a target from far away, it actually stuns for a long duration. It also slows the targets around it. I think they might actually do some minimal damage to the targets around it. But generally, it's a very good spell. It has very low cooldown. Let me go in using the Hawk again. For those of you wondering, the passive on the Hawk shot is active even though you fire the Hawk off. Now, one thing I have not talked about is that every single champion in this game, unlike Han and Dota, has a passive that's always there. That's to the left of her abilities, little target with the arrow in it. And that's, for Ashe, that's focus. That means that every 3 seconds she gets a percentage of crit chance. Yet again, me firing off a wall, without trying to hold that Karthus off a little bit, but because of his regenerating capabilities, he can stay in lane for quite a while and just abuse his lane waste a little bit. But yeah, that passive means that level 1, every 3 seconds I get 3% capability to crit. And when you crit, you do double damage. So it's actually fairly useful. At max, when I get to about level 18, I get 18% crit chance every 3 seconds. So basically, whenever you go into a lane at the start of the beginning, you will guarantee yourself a crit chance, a critted attack. So maybe when you stay in the lane, it's actually a pretty good idea to try to get your first hit off on the champion if you can. I believe I actually did that in this game. So that's a fairly useful thing to know and do. So even though we're getting another critical, because it was out of combat for a little bit. Basically, whenever you're out of combat, you get 3%. It only works if you're out of combat. If you don't do any physical attacks. However, your skills, none of your skills actually, I believe, proc that. So you can actually fire volleys and still have your focus activating itself. I've been playing Ashe for quite a while, and I actually find myself very hilarious that I don't know some of these things 100%. Kind of weirded out by that myself. Here's Karthus being, now every single champion in the game can use the B button to recall home. It takes 8 seconds to recall home, and if you do anything or a hit or anything, that instantly interrupts it, but you can go home. It's basically a automatic free blue pill that you can utilize. Now, other two things that I have next to the champion abilities that are the Q, W, E, R, next to those two, those are the summoner spells. Now, every single person who plays the game is called a summoner, and every time you go into the game, you get to choose 2 summoner spells, which sometimes have offensive capabilities, sometimes defensive. Now, this is my first recall just before I go back into the lane. I had a lot of money farmed up, so I decided to go for some Boots of Speed to give me more mobility, because Ashe is very slow, and a BF Sword, which is actually a fairly good attack damage item and builds into the most powerful attack damage items in the game. Also went for a Ward, an extra potion just to help me just in case I take some extra damage, and an Elixir of Brilliance, which gives me attack damage and health for 4 minutes, a specific amount depending on level. I want to say this right now, that actually some of the items I'm going to be using in this game will get nerfed quickly after this video comes out. Like the Elixir, sorry, it's not Elixir of Brilliance. What am I talking about? It's an Elixir of, crap, an Elixir of something. Here's Warwick in the middle lane trying to help me out because I left a little bit. I'm going to Hawk Shot because I think I saw somebody there. I believe I saw Nidalee running towards that location, so I want to see what's going on. Nidalee's actually in the top lane right now with Ezreal. They're putting down a little bit of pressure on Vlad, who's played by Fisky. I don't think he's going to make it out of there. I might be thinking of firing a ward. I do fire an arrow off. Not really. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save him. That's way too late of an arrow, honestly, so I don't really manage to do much. I plan a ward up north, and I don't even know if my arrow hit or not. I didn't bother checking, because in the end, it doesn't really matter. There was no other champions. No, every character, by the way, in this game is called a champion, but there was no other ally in the vicinity to help out, to utilize that. So now my ultimate's a level 2, so I'm going to be able to use it soon very much. Now, yeah, it's an Elixir of Fortitude, I'm sorry, that's what it's called. It gives health and attack damage, and actually gets all the elixirs, which are basically 3 items that give you a specific power-up depending on what you want, for 4 minutes. They're all going to get nerfed after the current patch, so that's kind of sad, but oh well. Also, one of the base items that are the base items of my build are going to get nerfed, so that's going to be interesting. Basically, one item that is the base item for almost every single ranged DPS build out there is going to get an interesting nerf. So, in my opinion, it's a nerf, basically. But I'm going to go into that a little bit later. I'm just standing around the lane. This is my first League of Legends commentary. I don't exactly know what to talk about. Not too much action going on in the laning phase. It is a little bit slow. I actually don't know no idea how the hell you speed this up, and I want to go over a little bit of the basics in this game also, for those of you guys that are new to the game. But I honestly recommend you go to leagueoflegends.com or eu.leagueoflegends.com if you're in Europe. So And check it out, I'm just still in the middle, chilling out. None of the towers in any lane has gone down yet, but so I'm just using the opportunity to farm as well as I can. That's actually very good for a carrier like Ashe. For any characters that are very farm dependent, it's actually very good if the laning phase stays active for as long as possible, because you can really get your items up. Certain champions that every single champion in this game honestly does well when they farm up and get a lot of golds. They become better champions. They become stronger. They can help you out overall better. But certain characters, especially carries, they just become even stronger. I fired an arrow off right now to the north, and I think Nidalee actually just moved out of the way as the arrow off. I believe they told me that I saw Nidalee in the bush. I fired my arrow off, and then she just moved to the side. I don't know whether the team we're playing against is also well, obviously we know a teammates, so they're all on chat. They all can tell each other, oh, by the way, there's an arrow coming north. So Karthus could have told her that, and Nidalee could have just moved out of the way because she could have been in a little bit of danger there. But yeah, Ashe is a physical DPS carry, which means that late game she's going to be doing a lot of physical damage. That's her base job, and what really allows her to do that is her volleys. A little bit of action coming up here north. Nidalee trying, everybody there fighting around the golem, the lizard, the great lizard elder, which gives an attack damage buff. Everybody fighting around them, but there's a little bit of engagement. Warwick's in trouble. Vi looks like he's barely going to get out of there alive. Maybe, I don't know. Ezreal and Nidalee actually all fought him. I'm coming in here. Don't exactly know what I'm doing. Karthus' ult, which is a global damage dealing ultimate, deals damage to every enemy, goes, fires off, and gets a kill on one of them. Nidalee gets the other kill. So that would have, even if the other guys wouldn't have gotten the kills, Warwick and Nidalee were so low. I'm sorry, Warwick and Vladimir were so low that in no way would they have escaped Karthus' ultimate unless I would have managed to stun him, but I didn't have my ultimate up at the time, I believe, to do that. So I'm just standing here trying to keep up the farming. Karthus admits it's actually a good choice just because he can pressure a lot with his layaways. There's that little purple ball that explodes into purple flame. I've activated my elixir. Meanwhile, I thought of trying to help out near that lizard buff location. I'm going to talk about things that you might not know about, but I know about instead. So bear with me, guys. A lot of running around near the river there to the south side. Mundo barely getting out alive. I fire a volley off just to see if there's a Karthus there. I should actually be firing off my Hawk. Comes in a little bit late. Garrett and Karthus both following me. I flash out and Ghost just running like crazy. I was slowed while going through that wall of Karthus' wall of pain. I believe it's called. Warwick now coming here to help me. I'm just gonna try to land as much as possible. You're trying to do as much damage as possible. I do a lot of damage to this creep, so it's actually very easy to last hit. Garen gonna go around and spin like crazy, but we're gonna catch him. I'm gonna ultimate him. He's gonna take a butt ton of damage. Karthus might get away, but we're still gonna be able to get Garen. I get the kill for that. We all get him pretty well. The other my teammates, of course, get assists. When you get kill, you get a significant amount of bonus gold, and you also get a bonus gold for assists, but not quite as much you get for kills. So that's my first kill of the game. One of the reasons I put this game up here is because I play fairly well. Nidalee here coming in a little bit too close. Nidalee's a champion that can sometimes be human and can change into a cougar when she becomes more of a close-up champion, but otherwise when she's human, she flows her little spears around or javelins or whatever and can do a lot of damage that way. So now I feel like I need to recall. I'm a little low on mana. I'm not so useful in the game. Our top tower has gone down. So altogether, it's not the best thing for me to stay in there. I'm going to go home, buy myself Boots of Swiftness, I believe. Yes, I am. And also a pickaxe, which is the second item of the 3 items I need to upgrade to an Infinity Edge, which is arguably the best attack damage item in the game. It gives you, at the moment of this game anyway, it gives 80 bonus attack damage. It gives a little bit of, it gives an amount of crit chance. Critical strike, as it's called in this game, which is basically crit chance. It buffs your chances to crit, and every single critical, instead of doing double damage, does as it's described, 250% damage. So basically 1.2 times damage whenever you're critical. And Ashe is a champion that can critical, so it's actually really useful for her. Now, after my Infinity Edge, I'm generally going to go for an item called an what the hell? Last Whisper, an item called Last Whisper, which is a bow, which allows me to attack faster and do a little bit more damage, and also gives me armor penetration, because of course everybody in this game has magic resist and armor. And armor basically lessen the damage you do with your physical attacks. Now, every single attack Ashe does, aside from her ultimate, is physical damage. Now, some people might think, wait, if her ultimate, which does a decent amount of damage, scales up, it does magic damage, doesn't it scale up somehow? Yes, it does. It scales with something called ability power, which is basically kind of the opposite of attack damage. Attack damage is how many your physical attacks do. Ability power augments your magical attacks. Every single one of your skills, as most skills in this game, not all of them, but most skills do magic damage. Now, some of you might think, hey, why don't we use that? Well, it's not the best. Well, explain in a minute as we actually go in here, get a very nice gank off there. Warwick coming in with his ultimate, suppressing Karthus, keeping it in place. Now, Karthus' passive means that when he dies, he can still continue casting spells for 8 seconds, so he can still do a little bit of damage and annoy us. Still can cast his ultimate just to get some global damage off. But I also fire my ultimate off there just as Warwick's ultimate wears off, and we just kind of managed to get a kill on them there. I get an assist, and Warwick gets ultimate. Nidalee comes in there. She wants to play. She's getting a few hits off me. I would totally whiff with my volley. She hits me with her javelin. That's kind of annoying. And Warwick actually going to come in here, also wants to play. My ultimate's not on, so I'm not actually able to stun her from a range. I'm going to be able to get one volley off, which slows her a little bit because I might have not said this, but my volley and my W, whenever I fire it off, it procs my frost shot, whether I've leveled up or not. So level 1 volley, I still will slow with it. But at max level volley and max level frost shot, I actually will slow anybody it hits for 35%. It's actually very nice. Now, if my arrow fires a long distance, it'll stun for a lot of time. Quite a lot, 3.5 seconds at most, I believe. So here, what we're going to do here is we're going to go after one of the biggest map objectives. This is the dragon. He gives global experience and global gold. Very nice. One dragon is about worth 2 champion kills. So I get a little bit of bonus for getting the, I get a little bit of bonus gold for getting the final hit on it. That helps me because I'm the carry, but the opposing team figured out way too late that we were going for dragons, so we get a dragon fairly easily. 4 of us, you know, generally some characters can't solo dragon, despite the fact that he takes a little time to kill, and he does some damage to you. It can take you a long time, and that's the main danger, because if the other team figures out, they can generally corner you and kill you, because it's kind of a little hole that you're in. It's really hard to escape from unless you maybe have Flash, or a champion that has blink abilities, such as Ezreal, which we're actually facing off against. But yeah, we've lost 1 tower up top, but it's not too big of a loss because team kills, we have 4 kills, they have 5, not the best position, but overall still good. We now have Ezreal here. By the way, I'm going to refer to everybody by their champion name, not by the player names, just because I've already referred to the player names. Garen going to come in here, he's going to silence Warwick, he wants to play, he's going to spin. I stun him though, not really a necessary stun, but I just basically wanted to get out of there, and I knew I was probably gonna be right now anyway. I'm real low on mana, I lost a little bit of health, and Ashe is so vulnerable that it's very dangerous. Unfortunately, Tarek running around, oh my god, he somehow did not get killed by the ultimate. Maybe managed to heal himself just in time. Tarek is a support champion. The guy down there that was a really low health, he's a support champion. He can heal himself for a low amount, so he might have survived because of that. I go back home, I buy a ward, which I've already used place once. Basically what it does is it gives you sight of an area that you might not be close to, so it really helps against spotting ganks. Also, there's something called division wards, which not only does that, but also spots anything invisible. Wards are invisible, by the way, so you can't actually see them with the naked eye unless you have something called an Oracle's Elixir, which basically is a potion that if you drink, you will see anything that is invisible until you die. It's quite an expensive item, but very valuable when you have stealth champions on your team, or if you want to go ward hunting, if you feel the other team seems to always get the gang on you. There's actually Nidalee killing a ward there because she can lay traps that see invisible things if they proc them, so actually being able to use that to kill some of the wards. Nidalee, very, very interesting champion overall, has a lot of utility. I don't have a lot of experience playing with her or against her, but I overall find her a very interesting champion because her ultimate, rather than giving her some sort of big attack, actually just transforms her into a cougar and completely changes around her skill and skill set. I believe mostly played as a hybrid champion, that is not both a attack damage champion and a magic damage champion. Hybrids often are made by hybrids because they have skills that scale with AP, but at the same time can do a lot of physical damage at the same time. Ezreal there is a champion that can play either AD or AP, generally not as a hybrid. I'm not sure whether Lance, I believe Lance plays him AP, I'm not too sure though. Overall too sure. I believe because of some, I looked at his inventory, whenever you click on a champion, if he's there, I look in his inventory right now, he has a Magi Soul Stealer with no stacks yet, so I know he's going AP. He also has Sork Boots, which is another example that he actually goes for AP. But we just a little bit in the farming war in the middle there. I'm still trying to get a bit of the last hits because as the game goes into the mid to late game, basically when it's all about team fights and positioning, generally you won't really manage to get a lot of last hits. And meanwhile, at the bottom, we got Dr. Mundo and Tarek managed to take out an enemy tower. Seems like they're going to try to chase someone down. Vlad was actually in there to help him out. 3 against 2, managing to completely overpower everybody there. But pretty nice by their part. I plan a war there. Nidalee comes out of there just to try to kill me. I actually pop my ghost and flash away. Honestly feel that the flash was not necessary. She's going to try to kill the ward. She's going to be successful with it. I'm going to ulti her, completely miss. And that ulti, if it had hit, it probably would have allowed me to kill her, possibly at least giving me the opportunity. But without that, there's no way it's going to happen. Now my entire team here is in the middle. We're going to force Nidolee back. She might even go down just to hug the guy. Warwick ultimate's in. She goes down. Now we're just going to focus down this tower. I think Ezreal going to come in from the north, try to help out here. But Mondo comes in from behind, activates his spinning round fire blade of doom thing. I don't really remember all the skill names at the moment. Karth is also coming. He also wants a piece of us. He's going to slow us down, but we're all a team here. All of us together. Vlad's a little bit to the north, but Annie and Karth and Garen coming in from the side are only the ones here to oppose us. So if they're not careful, we're going to be able to take him out fairly easily. Garen is very tanky. He's kind of hard to kill, but if you bypass him, you're going to be in pretty good shape. I'm going to fire a Hawk off north past Baron just to see how that's going. Now, that gigantic red skull and crossbones is basically the biggest map objective of the game. It's called Baron Nashor. Is an epic monster that is really hard to kill. It does quite a bit of damage. You usually need your entire team to kill it. Well, not necessarily your entire team, but generally, if you want to solo it or take it down with only 1 or 2 people, you need very high levels and very good items because he does a lot of damage and he takes a really long time to kill. But the thing is, he buffs up your entire team globally, gives you global gold, gives you a very nice amount of global gold, I believe, and gives your entire team an attack damage, ability power buff, and the cooldown reduction buff to everything. He's the most important buff in the game on this map. League of Legends, by the way, has more than one map, but this is kind of the classic MOBA map. And in League of Legends, it's called Summoner's Rift. There is another map also in existence called the Twisted Tree Line. I might go into that later. Karthus barely misses with his wall, and also tries to get me with a way waste, but missing me on both counts. I have an Infinity Edge, so I'm not too scared. I can do a pretty good amount of damage, but I'm still trying to get my farm up to get to my core. I still don't have my core items. I'm still missing my Last Whisper, which is my last core item. Basically, with Ashe, when I play Ashe, my core build, the items that I get every single time I play her, at least up into the latest patch, are an Infinity Edge, boost of swiftness, unless they have a lot of crowd control, such as slows and stuns and roots and silences and such. I go then, and taunts, of course. Then I go for Mercury Treads, but generally I can feel much safer with boost of swiftness because it gives her a lot of speed, and Ashe, she's kind of slow generally. There's Fisky running away. I'm trying to get my ult off. Do get my ult off on Garen. That stops him cold. He still spins, but he's going to go down right away. I actually get the last hit, which personally I don't mind getting a last hit. I got the stun off. Annie running into danger. I'm going to slow her down. She has her stun up. That's not going to help too much because she was forced to run away, just flash away. We're just going to farm up these creeps and try to push the middle a little bit more. Our bottom tower there, as you might see by the red minions, there, it is getting swarmed a little bit. So somebody, I believe, sometime soon might need to go down there and take care of that. But yeah, we have a pretty good team makeup, I feel. I'm the DPS. I'm the hard DPS carry. Well, I don't know about hard carry, but yeah, I'm the long-range DPS carry. We have Warwick as a jungler and a close-range physical carry. Mundo is also like that, but he's kind of our tank as well. He can take a lot of damage. He doesn't have a lot of CC aside from a very heavy slow, but he's very hard to kill because of his ultimate, which he sacrifices 20%, I believe 20% of his max health to regen his health much, much, much faster than that. So it's actually quite ridiculous. He can really stay in fights a long time with that. We know Nidalee's in the bush here. She's just going to pop out because you're seeing we're coming a little bit too close. Feeling the risk there, so that's very smart. Actually, I say she, but because it's a female character, but generally every single one in our clan, well, as far as I know, every single one in our clan is a male. I'm actually quite sure of that. Not that there are no girls that don't, not that there are no girls that play League of Legends. There are plenty of girls that play League of Legends from what I've heard, but yeah, we're just kind of doing it. So Tarek and Vlad went bottom there to take care of Dragon. That's another boost. I have 2,000 gold now, so I can afford my Last Whisper whenever I want it, but Nidalee there's kind of bugging me. I kind of want to kill her because I had a chance earlier in the game, but I didn't. Now, our team makeup's very good. We have Vlad to do magic damage, and he's also very hard to kill. Now, actually, engagement coming in. Seems like I'm just trying to get something off. Nidalee gets caught in the open a little bit. I'm going to ulti her just to make sure she stays there. Actually, they kill her before the ultimate goes through, but that actually stuns Ezreal, who's actually going to get away because of his flash and his blinking skill. But Annie's going to get caught, I think, very low on HP. Seems like we're not actually going to get her. Karthus all over the place with his AoE, area of effect damage dealing spell, trying to do as much damage as possible. They're all still alive. Also going to pop his ult. That might kill somebody. I'm not too sure. No, it does not. Fisky, very smart. Actually using his Zhonya's Ring passive there to stay alive through that Karthus ult. Very nice. Probably didn't have enough for his pool. I'm not actually sure if his pool counters the Karthus ult. So, by the way, guys, I'm not a pro at this game at all. When at the time of this game, I'm level 25. I'm level 26 at the moment, out of 30 levels. Every summoner in the game is has levels. So when you get to level 30, you kind of get you get benefits, but at the same time, generally, people of the same level play with other people of the same level. So you won't be going to the game and playing pros right away, so don't worry about it. I've gone back home. I'm going to buy myself a Last Whisper. Vision Ward, probably going to go for Elixir of Fortitude as well. I assume I'm obviously thinking, really thinking. Still thinking. Still thinking, checking out, see what's warded, want to know what's going on. Do go for an Elixir Fort alongside the Vision Ward. Vision Ward, of course, is the ward. It costs a bit more than a Sight Ward, 150 gold instead of 90, but it gives you, it basically shows any invisible wards around the place. I'm going to spec the items around a little bit, put them in more comfortable position just so I can proc them easier. Nidalee still in that bush, but we always have sight of her, so we always know. Very smart to keep those middle bushes, because most of the action often goes into the middle lane sometimes, because it just feels like the lane that's shortest to the from one side of the map to the other, it's generally the lane you want to push the most, and also because it takes your creeps the least amount of time to get through the map that way. I fire my volley off there, Nidalee, just because if there is an engagement, I don't want her coming in from the side. I'll probably not engage even with her there, but I kind of want her just GTFO out of there. Standing here in the middle, three of us. Vlad gone off to the side a little bit, probably just to face check the position there. Nidalee's to the left side. Seems like we might be thinking of just going there and gunning for her. She's there trying to solo up a little bit, trying to get some creeps, trying to get some kills, trying to push to the bottom tower. Vlad's already there. I'm going to come in from the side as well. I have my ultimate, so I'm sure we can get her, especially if we get my ult off. She's now a little bit north. I'm going to fire it off. I have no idea if it's going to hit, though. I'm going to try to run back mid. Yeah, arrow completely whiffs. One of very bad things about this game regarding to me is that, yeah, just my arrows miss a lot. Actually, there in the comments downstairs you see Sort, or T-Sort. I just call him Sort. He doesn't actually have a mic, but even, you know, even if he did, he's in the opposing team, so we can't actually talk to each other. We don't have the same chat. But he said, yeah, well played, Ashe. GG comments my playing skills. I don't know whether that was sarcasm or not, but I'm actually doing pretty well. Although I haven't really carried the team so far. But here, it looks like it might be a team fighter right in Tariq, which has a long range, very powerful stun. Did stun Garen there. And Garen being the more tanky character, if he goes down first, that's very bad. Now it's a very good position for me. I'm just going to stand here in the back, get as many volleys off as possible. Fisky almost goes down because of this, but managed to save himself with his own. His ring is going to pull out, slow one of the opponents there, and just try to get as many kills as possible. I'm just firing off volleys like crazy, trying to fire physical attacks. All the enemies are going down. Karthus' ult is going to go off. I'm going to try to get yet another passive going. Karthus goes down. Does kill Vlad before that happens. But I kill him with my volley. Actually did a lot of damage there. I think it might have been a crit. But I get out of there with very little health. But at the same time, that was just basically a beautiful position for me. Just standing there in the back, trying to get as many hits off as possible. Nidalee now going to come here to mess with us. I'm going to fire my arrow off again. Missing again. Just trying to fire it off as quickly as possible. Should have aimed a little bit more to the north, because I should have expected that she would run north closer to her own base. But with that ult yet again. But it doesn't matter. We got a lot of kills. That little position there was basically a shooting gallery for me. Just basically a tunnel for me to fire volleys off like crazy in physical attacks. I could just stay in the back. Everybody else could be in front of me because I am the most easiest to kill member of my team. I think, did I actually not activate my Elixir of Fortitude during that map? During that thing, I would have actually been able to maybe kill more people if I had, but I didn't just think it seems like the fight just started so quick. I just wasn't thinking too far. Now meanwhile, I'm just thinking about, what item should I get next as a viable choice. And I feel it seems like I decided, no, never mind. I just pop my it seems like I just pop my Elixir of Brilliance and go for a Vampiric Scepter, which is one of the items you need for a Bloodthirster. Looking at this team, yeah, they don't have anyone too tanky aside from Garen. Nobody that's stacking armor apparently. So I just decide, hey, let's just go for another pure damage item. Bloodthirster, a very good item that gives a lifesteal, gives attack damage, and also the more you kill with it, it's a Bloodthirster. The more you kill with it, the more attack damage and lifesteal you get. So you can just, if you have a Bloodthirster, especially if you have more than one, you can just go out there, kill a lot of creeps, and your item will become faster. And you can stack Bloodthirsters, which is a viable strategy, but I really like having an Infinity Edge. And technically, from this point on, Infinity Edge, Boots, and Last Whipper can just start stacking stuff. Karth is going to get caught here in a very bad position. You just get killed instantly. Meanwhile, yeah, Warwick's just going to try to... Yeah, going to take a little bit of damage because Karth is still staying there. Like, goddamn. Vlad, who died there, sent out a comment, said, wow. I'm going to try to hit ulti yet again. No idea if it hit. Didn't quite hear the sound. I have no idea if it hit. Probably missed yet again. If it did hit, didn't matter apparently because the guys weren't chasing her, so whatever. But we're in a very commanding lead at this point. We have quite a bit more kills than they do. I'm pretty well farmed up. I have 4 kills and 5 assists. No deaths yet. Now we're just running around thinking about what to do. I'm finally going to use my ward to ward Baron. No opposing wards from what I could see, but nice to have Baron warded. We're winning so handily. You don't really need to risk taking Baron, because whenever you take Baron, you risk the other team either stealing it or catching you into that little bottleneck and maybe AoEing you down. Because whenever you're in a bottleneck like that, you can take a lot of damage. Warwick gonna go out there, kill Garen yet again. Garen dying again has unfortunately not been the best Garen in this game. He's actually helped us more than he's helped his own team. But the other team really has a pure tank, so it's kind of interesting that way. Now we're gonna go here for Garen again. We have our 3 DPS champions and Tarek as well. Just go out there, try to do as much damage as possible. The dragon just take it down as fast as possible. Karth is gonna get caught up north, or is that Vlad actually being caught by more than one person? Karthus and Vlad up north, middle also being very close. We're actually gonna start running towards the location. Vlad, you're gonna try to get away. I think I'm gonna fire off my ult there. Vlad in a lot of trouble. I do fire off my ult. It starts, or do I? Does it start flying away? No, just now. I should have actually should have shot it earlier. But that was just my own mistake because we weren't so close. Maybe it would have helped Vlad survive. But you see, my arrow barely misses 2 people. As soon as that happened, Fisky and I, Fisky of course being the Vlad player, over TeamSpeak, we were laughing our asses off. And then I think Crucifix, or Civi as I know him, our Target player, made a slight mistake of planning a second ward down, which is not necessary because my ward still has plenty of life on it. And it's a vision ward, so that's kind of extra, but it doesn't matter. They actually told me at that point, hey, just attack Baron Asher. He should actually kill any ward that's close to him, but actually didn't do that, so whatever. No need to kill the ward either, so I'm honestly no idea why the hell I followed that particular advice. But yeah, we're in a very strong position. We have our team in a very good position overall, and unfortunately, they just haven't managed to get a team fight going where they can just go AoE off, because we really don't have that much AoE. I mean, I volley off, and technically, Mundo does some AoE damage if he's in a fight. Also, Tarek can also do some AoE if he's in the fight, but not Tarek doesn't do too much damage. And Vlad kind of, he has his ultimate, which is called Hemoplague, which kind of just basically makes you take 10% extra damage for a little while and then damages you. And also he has a lot of skills that can do quite a bit of damage and slow people, his abilities, in a sort of AoE. But basically, our entire team, aside from me, needs to be really close to the enemy to do damage. Well, they have just a few more. They have quite a few more ranged guys aside from Garen. So technically, they actually, I think the best thing for them would be try to get in a fight where they can just kind of force us into a hole. Get a nice Annie ult off. Annie is the little girl, and she has an ultimate that if she uses her passive, she can get an ultimate off, and she can basically AoE stun a huge team if they're all put together into a little area. So got to be really, really careful when you're up against Annie. Stoneby coming up to Nashor. Apparently, yeah, this is where we finally decide, you know what, we're going to go Baron. Me and Stoneby were very high level. He's level 16, not quite 18. Everybody else, Mundo also actually 15, Tarek 15. But me and Vlad, we were solo laning, so we were at the highest level. But at this point, Warwick can really lifesteal like crazy. He has items, and his passive, of course, also helps him. He does a lot of damage. And I'm just kind of standing in the back, just trying to do every little bit extra. We're going to get that buff going. And I think with this, we're going to be very close to the victory because we've been dominating this entire time. We're nearly going to go out there with a javelin or spear or whatever it's called. Not going to hit me. I believe it's called the javelin toss. I have 2k gold again, so I could go back and buy my BF sword. But, or not my BF sword, yeah, my BF sword, and can't quite afford the bloodthirster. I'm thinking of recalling there, but it seems like everybody's close to the middle. I'm not quite sure if I am going to end up recalling or not. Apparently not, because we have Baron. We're thinking, you know what, why waste time, go back home and recall? I mean, Baron already gives us so much. We just need to get a good engagement going and win this right now. I just go and try to fire as much as possible. I don't know if I'm not using my ultimate. Karth's going to get his own ultimate off. That might kill. No, Vlad managed to get his Zonias activated. But actually, that team, unfortunately, that's good. My ultimate totally, barely misses. I have no idea how that happens. But I still do manage to kill her. Warwick, unfortunately, dies in that engagement, so that actually was not the best engagement early on. I'm wondering whether I'm going to be right now yet again or not. I don't know what's happening, but still we're in a very good position overall. Karth is going to come in here and engage us all by himself. Bad decision. We kill him yet again. I get yet another kill. This time I'm doing an insane amount of damage. I have 236 attack damage, and it's only going to go up once I get my Bloodthirster. I'm going to be at 300 damage. That's going to mean my volley does a crap ton of damage, and you're gonna get caught with a stun. She's just gonna die really quickly, and now we're pushing really fast. I think this middle is just gonna go down at this point, and the other team might even be close to surrendering here. Ezreal's gonna try to back off. We might actually get him close. Yeah, Tarek coming in way too close, and Tarek has that stun, so he's gonna be forced to back off. This turret's gonna go down momentarily. The other opposing team is thinking of trying to engage us here, but that's not also to a great idea. And at this point, the opposing team has voted 5 against 0 to surrender. I type in GG. Overall, good game for me. I play a really good game there. I'm really proud of myself. Ashe is one of the champions I play the most and one of the champions I enjoy playing the most. So it was just kind of a starting League of Legends commentary for you guys. Not too pro yet, but I'm just gonna try to get out there, try to do more of these. I really like League of Legends. I really like playing this game. I'm really a big fan of it, so I'm probably gonna start commentating a little bit more of it. But do not worry, guys. MSL starting soon, so some StarCraft Reworld commentaries are gonna be coming up soon enough. For a little while. So yeah, shout out to all my clanmates, the ones that were in this game: Fisky, Stonebee, Civi, Lihu, Sort, Lance, Vlad, Zanzan, and Nova, and all other clanmates that I will eventually probably record games with and upload up on YouTube. So GG guys, Ranchinet, that's listening. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next commentary.